Hello Year 1, we're now on lesson 3 looking at volume and capacity, and this time we're going to see if we can describe the volume using the word half and a quarter. Can you remember when we did our fractions and we were talking about half of a shape or half of something? How many parts did we have? That's right, 2 equal parts. And when we were talking about quarters, how many parts did we have there? That's right, it was 4 equal parts. So we're going to use our knowledge, our remembering the word half and quarter, and see if we can talk about that with our volume. I hope you've had lots of fun playing with water and pouring into cups and various things, but always cleared up the mess afterwards as well. So let's have a look today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different containers, and the question says which container, which one of these can hold half as much water as F. So we're looking at these different sizes of containers and we want to know which can hold half. Now, how would we know that? How could we work that out? How would we know? Because we don't know how much each one holds. Have a little think. Okay. How do we know which can hold half? My friend said it's D because it looks the same. Do you think that's right? Does it matter what it looks like? No, because they are different. So what we have to do, we need to know how many times we need to pour something into container F. How many times would we have to pour? Say if it was E, how many times would we pour container E into F if we want to know half? That's right, it's twice. So if we filled cup E and put 2 lots of E, 2 halves make a whole, would it be full? Or would it be D? How many times would you need to pour something into the container to know it measured a half? It's twice. Right, and we also want to know which container can hold quarter as much water as this. How many times would I have to fill a cup or a container to see if it's quarter? Do you remember how many pieces in a shape? If we divide it into quarters, 4, that's right. So we'd have to pour something 4 times into the container. Remembering the capacity of a container is how much water it can hold. Let's have a look. Let's see how we can work out half, which is half and which is a quarter. Okay, so we pour water from the beaker, this beaker, into the empty container. So here's the beaker, and we fill it to the top and pour it into F, into this one. Follow the arrow and we pour it into here, and when we pour it in once, it measures half. So we've put half into the beaker already. We've put half in, and we say the capacity of this beaker here is half the capacity of our tall one, F. What does it say here? It says we can use the word volume to describe the amount of water in a full container. So half of F, half of this container, is this one here. Let's have a look at the second one. Number 2. We have container F and we want to know which container can hold a quarter as much water. So we've got the little green cup and we filled it up 1, 2, 3, 4 times because 4 quarters make a whole. We pour 1 in. We pour 2, 3, 4 in, and it's full. So the little green cup holds a quarter of the tall beaker. The container can be filled up with 4 cups of water. The capacity of 1 cup is a quarter of the capacity of the container. I think you need to have a go at doing this, pouring some water. See if you, in your house, you can find a container and then another container that holds half the capacity of one. And see if you can fill it up once, twice to be full. And then see if you can find something that holds a quarter. So you could fill it up once, twice, 3, 4 times, and it's full. See if you can have a go before you carry on. Pause the video and have a little go. Right, we have a little activity to do here. And again, it's things I was asking you to do. If you could guess which container holds half as much as another one, you might have already done this. And then use the water to check to see if it's right. Can you guess which container holds half of another? So if I've got a bottle here, can I find something in my house, a cup or a mug or a container that holds half of that? Or I've got another beaker here. Can I think of something that will hold half of that? Can I find something to fill it up? Have a go. Right, let's have a look at our guided practice. I hope you're enjoying this. It's quite tricky, but I think if you do lots of practice of pouring, perhaps if you have a bath at night, you might like to do some pouring with different containers. That might be a good time to do it as well. Right, we've got to fill in some blanks here. Remember, we say something when we have a blank and we read a sentence. Okay, so it says, it's asking us to fill in the blanks with either the letter 2, the number 2, sorry, the word half or quarter, to see if we understand what these words mean. So here we have a watering can and we've got 4 cups, and it's telling us that that watering can will hold 4 cups. So if I put 4 cups of water in there, my watering can is full. So if I only put 2 cups in, how full would it be? Could you work that out? That's right, it would be half full. But if I only put 1 cup in, could you work that out? It would be a quarter full. Okay, let's have a look at the next picture. I've got a bucket and I've got some beakers, and it's telling me that 2 of these beakers make 1 bucket. 2 full beakers make 1 full bucket. So if I pour 1 beaker in here, how full will this bucket be? Could you work that out? Half full, yes, well done. Right, let's see if we can fill in these blanks with either the letter 2, the number 2, the word half or quarter. Let's read. The capacity of 1 cup, this, is something of the capacity of the watering can. I'll read that again. The capacity of 1 cup is something of the capacity of the watering can. So if I put 1 cup in there, how full will it be? A quarter, well done, yes, because I've got 4 cups, and we know if anything is in 4s, 4 equal parts is a quarter. So the capacity of 1 cup is a quarter of the capacity of the watering can. Let's try the next one. The volume of 1 beaker, is something the volume of the water in the bucket. The volume, how much water in here, how much space? The volume of water in 1 beaker is what? Is it 2, half or quarter the volume of water in the bucket? So think, how many beakers does it take to fill? So when we know something's in 2s, 2 equal parts, we're talking about halves, that's right. So the volume of water in 1 beaker is half the volume of water in the bucket. Don't worry if you're struggling with this. It is quite tricky, but hopefully on the worksheet it'll give you some practice and you can watch this video again if you need to. Let's have a look at C. After the bucket is filled with 1 beaker of water, the bucket is something for how full is it? So I'm putting 1 beaker of water into the bucket. How full is it? Remember, we've got things in twos. When we're talking about 2 equal parts, we're talking about halves. That's right. So after the bucket is filled with 1 beaker of water, the bucket is half full. Well done. And the last one. After the watering can is filled with something cups of water, the watering can is half full. So how many cups does it take to fill half a watering can? If we think this is the whole, what would be half? Where could we draw a line somewhere? Like that. Is that half? After the watering can is filled with 2 cups, the watering can is half full. Well done. Bit tricky today, but you can watch it again. Don't worry. Have a little go. Don't worry if you make mistakes, because we learn from our mistakes and you're doing really, really well. Have a go at worksheet 3, page 130 to 131. Well done.